Hey guys, in this example, we're going to simplify the product of two fractions, which more or less are focused on requiring us to show that we indeed know the properties of exponents. That was a mouthful, so let's get into it. Simplify and multiply are essentially the same thing. Division, on the other hand, would be more of an example where you're applying the concept of keep, change, flip. So you would keep, change your division to multiplication, flip, and then once it's multiply, it's basically simplify. But it's not until you do keep, change, flip, and that's when you are dividing fractions, right? Now, in the next example, I'm going to break it down a little bit more, all the pieces for this one. If you were to kind of just dive right in, I would say anything on top and anything on bottom that is matching, identical, can reduce, because anything divided by itself is 1. This is all going to be allowed in a situation where you don't have adding or subtracting in your numerator or denominator. When we have adding and subtracting, like polynomials, not monomials, like a binomial, trinomial on top or bottom, you're not just crossing out bits and pieces like that. You have to factor before you can simplify. So over here I have, one thing we can do is we can kind of just connect over that dot and make it one big fraction bar and kind of have everything being multiplied. So I have this times this. You could put a dot between the a and the y. They are separate pieces. These y's, I always advise that people, when you don't have an exponent there, they put in the little invisible 1. Even the 8, right? The 4, you could do that. And then times x squared. Another thing you could actually do is 8, well, that's really what times what times what? 2 times 2 times 2, right? And then the 4 is 2 times 2. You don't have to do any of this. I'm just showing a little bit of an option, trying to show some variety. But x squared over x squared, they're both gone. If I subtracted my exponents, 2 minus 2 is 0. X to the 0 is also 1. Y and y. I can't cross these out. They're both on top. Y times y is really y to the 1 times y to the 1. In a case like this, the property of exponents says that we add the exponents, so that becomes y squared. So the y's are taken care of. X's over there were done. These y's are done. Now you have 8 over 4. Some of you may think of that as 8 divided by 4. I'm just going to rewrite it here. Some of you may think of that as 8 divided by 4, which would be equal to 2. That means you could just really write the answer 2y squared. Other people might think of it more so as the 2 times 2 times 2 over 2 times 2. In that case, those two 2's cross out with those two 2's, and you're still left with a 2y squared. Last option is if we thought of it as 2 to the third over 2 to the second y squared. You are dividing like bases. Power on top is larger than the power on bottom, so we're going to subtract our exponents. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 2 to the 1 is 2, leaving you once again with the final answer of 2y squared. Give all of the breakdowns some thought. Thumbs up if you got it right, and whether you like what I said or not. Thumbs down if you got it wrong and you're still confused. All right. Click through for the next example. We have a couple more property of exponents, 2 more, and then some factoring after that. Adios.